the most dynamic release in the Ebonite lineup. That's probably true. Hey everyone, Brian Buckosh here, core design engineer with Brunswick Bowling, and I'm here to talk to you today about the newest release in the Ebonite lineup, the Aero Dynamix. Let's take it to the intro. The follow-up to the very popular and aggressive Aero is the Aero Dynamix. This ball contains the same Aero core that was found in the original Aero. That core has a total differential of 0.050 and an intermediate differential of 0.013. Of course, this ball has DOT, durability optimization technology. That means the pin is at the bottom of the ball and a circle engraved dot is at the top. You can put any layout you want on this ball without worrying about drilling through the pin or voiding the warranty. And of course, it's got Dynamicore, the blue stuff that you see when you drill into the outer core. That is going to help increase the coefficient of restitution. That's a fancy way of saying that you're going to get more hitting power because it's going to transfer more energy when it goes through the pins. The difference between this ball and the original Aero, of course, is the cover stock. This one has the GSVX hybrid cover stock. That's a hybrid version of the original GSVX that was found on the original Aero, and this one is surfaced quite differently at 500, 1000 with compound on top to help it through the front part of the lane and make an aggressive move on the back of the lane. So let's show you where this Aero Dynamix stacks up to the rest of the Ebonite lineup with a comparison chart. This chart contains every release in the Ebonite lineup since being acquired by the brands of Brunswick. They're sorted by oil volume on the bottom, from heaviest on the left to lightest on the right, and by motion shapes on the y-axis, with early strong mid-lane on top, angular back end in the middle, and smooth continuous on the bottom. The two remaining motion shapes, late strong mid-lane and hard arc, bridge the gap to the motion shapes they are adjacent to. You'll see our brand new Aero Dynamix highlighted in yellow in the middle of the chart. The Aero Dynamix is built to handle a medium to medium heavy amount of total oil volume and fits squarely in the angular back end category of ball motion. The original Aero was a fan favorite of Ebonite players because although it is the most aggressive ball in the current Ebonite lineup, it's also quite versatile because it gets down the lane surprisingly well for a sanded aggressive solid cover stock. The Aero Dynamix picks up right where the Aero leaves off. When it becomes too early or too strong for the pattern you're bowling on, you can easily stay in the same part of the lane and watch the Aero Dynamix get an extra 4 or 5 feet of length because of its box finish and its hybrid cover stock. Although it's in the angular backend category of ball motion, I don't see this one being too flippy or too jerky. It makes a nice round continuous move off of the friction in the same way that the Aero did, it just does it later and more abruptly. Compared to an Omni hybrid, which is very similar to it on the chart, the Aero is a little cleaner with a noticeably sharper response to friction. The Omni is better for more medium volumes when the pattern's fairly fresh and you want a nice hard arcing motion off of friction, and the Aero Dynamix is better when you see some friction in the mid lane and you want to really step in, open up your launch angle, and send it left to right. The Aero Dynamix might also benefit some of those low rev players who have trouble getting the Omni to shape as hard or aggressively as they want them to on medium patterns. The Aero Dynamix, with its aggressive hybrid cover, is definitely going to give you an assertive move off of the friction without making a jerk stop motion, and without being too squirty in the mid lane, especially if you miss into the pattern into the wet. As I stated before, the Aero Dynamix makes a perfect step down from the original Aero, but I also see it complementing the Omni line and the Allure line perfectly because it gives you the ability to give you a little more launch angle and a little more back-end recovery without stepping away from the zone that you're already playing with either the Omni or the Allure line. And of course, if all of these balls are too aggressive for the pattern that you're bowling on, it's an easy step down to the Stinger line to get you through the fronts with a little more controlled shape on the back of the lane. All told, this Ebonite lineup is really shaping up to be all you need for all the conditions that you face. That's the information I have on this new eye-catching and high-performance Aero Dynamix by Ebonite, available in pro shops worldwide now. If you enjoyed this content, don't be afraid to like and subscribe to my channels on Facebook and YouTube, Bowling Buckosh. Drop a comment below, I'm happy to respond, and of course, keep an eye out for my other videos. I'll be making new ones as new releases from the brands of Brunswick come out. So until next time, thanks for watching.